Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy and we're back with another video. Raekor Wrecks T16. This is going to be a Barb starter build guide. We've got sheet damage of under 1 million. We've got main stat of 8,500. Really low requirements. The gems, we've got 44 for the powerful. Gogok doesn't matter. Anything over 25 will perform exactly the same, so you don't need tons of legendary gems. Some of the gear is nice, but it's not perfected, it's not augmented out, and given next season with the Echoing Nightmares, you're going to have huge XP, so you're going to have tons of main stat Paragon, which is going to be great. You're going to have tons of augments, so damage wise, absolutely no problem. Spent a few hours testing this. There are various different swaps you can make. You can up damage if you want, you can up toughness, you can up move speed. Really does depend on how you want to play this. I'd say this is a pretty good key build. You get a good map. It's definitely getting up towards S tier. It's got tremendous AoE clear potential. Bad maps, it does suffer a little bit because it is reliant on Ingerm and also on the Barb's move skill, which is Furious Charge, which is not the best. But yeah, it's new, it's fun. So yeah, we're going to jump in and cover all the options. Before we do though, as always guys, a thumbs up is greatly appreciated. We will take the build for a little spin, but in the background, any footage is exactly as you see here. As I say, sheet damage, pretty low, strength, pretty low, that kind of thing. So the Raekor set is the starting set. It has been changed. It is very easy to set up. I will talk you through a day one setup as well. 2-piece Furious Charge refunds if we hit only one enemy. We don't get much value out of this, but it does help a little bit. Furious Charge is our move speed, so, well, I say move speed, it's our way of moving around the map, so obviously the charge is diminishing is bad, so if we do hit one enemy and one enemy only, we do get a refund, so that's kind of nice. The 4-piece, the damage increase doesn't matter, it's like tickling something on T16. We do get this kind of more damage on Ancient Spear as life is missing, because we have the Gold Wrap and the Boon of the Hoarder, the kind of gold standard of Torment 16 builds. That part is never going to come into place. Again, the 2 and 4-piece bonus, a little bit sad to say, don't make too much impact. What we can say on the 4-piece though is we do get all the runes of Furious Charge, albeit even if the only rune we had was the Merciless Assault, that would be absolutely fine. On the 6-piece, when we hit with Furious Charge or with Weapon Throw, important, we have to hit, so it's not miss, we have to hit the enemies. We build up stacks. As we build up stacks, we can then dump them out with using an Ancient Spear, and it deals 5,500%. And it causes, when you hit with your spear, so as you throw it, if it hits something, it will then blow out into the AoE that you can see, which is obviously pretty nice. Now, the main downside of this is you do have to hit, so if you're just charging around the map with your Furious Charge, you're not building stacks. If you're throwing your Weapon Throw and you're missing, you're not building stacks. So the only time you can ever might say, Filthy, why am I not doing any damage? It's probably because you've run out of Furious Charge stacks, and we will go through that when we take the build for a spin. New items, or newly buffed items I should say, we've got the Ariat's Law Spear and also the 300 Spear. These are now both very easy to get because the other spear that was in the loot pool has been removed, so you're always going to get one of these two when you upgrade in the cube. The Ariat's Law will do a up to 200% increase on Ancient Spear. It does Weapon Throw as well, but Weapon Throw isn't activated on the 6-piece. It doesn't really do much damage, but we do actually get additional Fury when we hit with Weapon Throw, which is great because we're going to be spending a bunch of Fury with our Ancient Spear. And we can also get our Fury cap increased past the 200 max. Again, it probably doesn't come into play that much, but basically it's just more damage. If we look at this weapon in particular, we do have a little bit of movement we can get out of the modifier, another 10% or so. On the 300 Spear, this one is pretty high. I've got a 198 roll. This will basically just increase the damage of your Ancient Spear, and it'll give you crazy 200% attack speed on your Weapon Throw. Doesn't really matter. If I was going to drop one of these weapons, which we'll talk a little bit about in some kind of swaps, it would probably be this one because the attack speed and Weapon Throw don't really care about it. We do also have School of Salvation. This is the braces. These have been buffed. Again, Ancient Spear damage increase up to oh shit, up to 200%. Again, you know, there's a little bit of room out of here for me to squeeze. Boulder toss hits 5 a few enemies. Damage is doubled. We're not taking boulder toss, so we don't really care. Legendary gem wise, we're just simply taking a powerful because this is the first gem that you get. Very easy. We're going to take a Gogok for the cooldown and for the attack speed. Again, fairly easy to get. You only need it at rank 25. Now, having played around with this, I think Crimson's is probably, it's just sad. I do feel like a broken record all the time putting Crimson's in near enough every build, but the cooldown that this brings, the resource cost reduction this brings, is hard to overlook. It's a lot of damage, it's a lot of cooldown, it's a lot of resource cost reduction. Until you get yourself a Crimson's, what you probably want to do is plop on a Syndicote. So you would take your gold wrap out the cube, plop it on your character. That would negate the need for the Rogue to make up the bonuses. And that should do you fine because the Syndicote will give you 30% resource cost reduction. On fire skills, we do have Jagged Edge, so that is a fire skill. So that is probably what I would do until I did my bounties, got my Rogue and my Crimson setup. For some more damage, we've got the Stone of Jordan. Again, I just like this. It makes a nice kind of flat damage increase. By all means, this is 100% droppable. You know, if you get your main stat up by another 10k and your sheet damage up by another like million and a half, you don't need a Stone of Jordan at all. But it's a nice start item. Conventional elements would work fine here. You know, you can do that. Other than that, I think we've got some cooldown items. We've got Zodiac. Whenever we do hit with our spender, which is Ancient Spear, we're getting a second off a cooldown at random. We've got the Ingeome. This seems to pair pretty well with a Raekor Barb because when we kill an elite, we get this 10-second reduction on all our skill cooldowns. This gives us perma Furious Charge for 10 seconds, so we kind of kill an elite, we're looking for the next one, and it does also help with Wrath of the Berserker, which again is a bit more damage, a bit more move speed. Now, as we progress, oh, one more item actually, sorry, Hellfire Amulet. Craftable, so quite easy to get. Barb's got a bazillion passives that are really good. This one in particular has got the No Escape passive, which is the one that buffs up Ancient Spear. You can do Squirts. Squirts works absolutely fine if you can't be bothered doing the Ubers to get Hellfire. You might want to consider pairing this with a Gizzard Gem. You pop this in like so, it gives you a shield, and then because your armor is so high with Gold Wrap, the shield won't drop and you will keep double damage provided you don't run out of gold. If you don't use the Gizzard Gem, then the Squirts will have some downtime because even though your health doesn't move because you've got like almost infinite armor, the game still registers it as damage and you will drop your Squirts. But again, you can do that and that would be fine. You can drop the powerful or the Gogok. Either of those two is absolutely fine. In terms of swapsies, again, if you pump your damage up high enough, you can take Ingeome instead of the 300 Spear and rock yourself a Messerschmitt's Reaver for even more insane cooldown. I did play around with that a little bit. I tried Echoing Fury in here for some more move speed and attack speed, but I think ultimately just straight out the box, the two best things are obviously the modifiers, and then Ingeome is probably the most useful utility wise. I did also play with Larceny Ring a little bit, trying to get the move speed up whenever we hit. Move speed doesn't seem to impact too much because obviously we're kind of charging around a lot, but it could be something that is worthwhile. If you're wanting to do bounties or you don't want to rely on Gold Wrap, Band of Might obviously gives you insane toughness. And we did also try Focus and Restraint again because we would proc one part with Weapon Throw, we'd proc the other part with Ancient Spear. So again, if you took those two rings, you could get an awful lot more damage in these two slots here. So again, something to think about. Looking at the rolls, we're going to take Ancient Spear damage on our shoes. We want Ancient Spear damage and crit on our helm. So obviously we're missing that roll here. Area damage is very nice. So if you could get area damage, even if it's just on your shoulders, you will be able to one-shot more things with really low sheet damage. I don't have any. It's just how it is. Cooldown obviously handy for the weapons. Cooldown area damage would be probably my two picks. Attack speed on both of them would be lovely. You know, cooldown, attack speed, area damage, I think is probably what I'd be looking for. But again, whilst they are both ancient, it's a bit more of a kind of startery type setup. Element damage wise, Stone of Jordan allows you to pair everything, so you could do cold, 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 physical, whatever, but fire is the rune that we're using, so if you do want to take this off at any point, kind of makes sense to have fire on your braces, fire on your amulet if you get it. Skills wise, weapon throw, ricochet, this will bounce off enemies, up to 3 enemies. That's great because if you hit 3 enemies with the ricochet, it's 3 stacks of furious charge for spending, so definitely the best rune there. Ancient Spear, Jagged Edge, just for the fire rune. We don't want to take Boulder Toss, it empties the fury, really annoying, because you'll run out of fury and you won't be able to damage anything. Probably the best, we did use the Boulder Toss for the speeds, for GRs. You do have to play a little bit more tactically with that. The rest of them I just don't really think are worth it. We've gone for fire, looks nice, cool, blows up the screen. Battle Rage Bloodshed, this is giving us more damage and it gives us this crit detonation. It does help us out with the AoE clear, so every so often this will just go off and just melt things without us even attacking. Wrath of the Berserker Insanity, you know, it's a barb build, guys. It's gonna have Wrath of the Berserker Insanity in it. Merciless Assault rune on Furious Charge. We guess all of these runes, none of them really do anything except Stamina's giving us a bit more fury. We are freezing stuff, so if we did want it hit with this, we could then take the Bane of the Trapped. I haven't bothered, but you know, you could do. And Dreadnought is giving us the 3 charges, which is cool. Sprint Marathon is here for some move speed. I've played around with a bunch of stuff. I have played around with Ignore Pain and Bravado to give us a bit of move speed, but Sprint just seems to make more sense because there's no cooldown. I did also play with Warcry and Charge On to generate Fury. That was with running Chanalic's Chain in here and the gold wrap on the character. So this again would give a 10-second 40% move speed boost. That was fine, that worked quite well as well. So you know, a few kind of considerations on this skill here. Passive wise, Boonable Kathos I'd say is your most important. Get that 30-second cooldown on Wrath of the Berserker. After that, we've got a little bit of move speed with Pound the Flesh. We do obviously have the No Escape on our Hellfire Amulet. And then after that, I'm just stacking Fury because I'm super lazy, don't like running out of Fury. So Unforgiving, we now passively generate it. And Weapons Master, we are using Mighty Weapons, so 2 Fury per hit. Some other stuff that you might want to consider for your Hellfire. Berserker Rage would give you extra damage at full Fury. Rampage is great, it stacks strength. The higher your main stat, the more value you get out of this. A lot of damage out of this one if you can. Brawler for more damage if you've got enemies around you, that's fine. And Nerves of Steel, Cheat Death, never necessarily a bad thing, although we are taking a Cheat Death on the follower. So, you know, there's plenty of stuff that you can do with your Barb, with the Hellfire. You know, even a lot of these other passives, they're not that bad if you get them. The only ones that, you know, there are a few that obviously would be useless for the build, but there are quite a few. Right, I think that's probably enough waffles. Max Fury is in, movement speed is in. We've got the rest of the Paragon is kind of decked out. All of these are important, I think, so I'm not really sure if there's any kind of preference for the order as you're building. Again, for T16, none of this stuff matters. And then for T16, the only things that are going to matter are pickup radius and area damage. Follower, I haven't bothered gearing. This is just some random crap I had messing around on the season. Nems, obviously essential. Canes, essential for extra keys. Avarice Band, essential for pickup radius. Flavor of Time, essential. And then normally speaking, I'd look to have homing pads here. But I think I was trying something wacky with this at some point. And I'm too lazy to fix it. In terms of the skills, Cheat Death if you want it. If you don't, you can go for more attack speed. Then we've got the extra damage on this one here. Extra cooldown is handy, and then we've left the first skill off. So let's jump in and take it in. So off we go. We're going to pop a bunch of abilities. Now we've got no stacks at the moment. These are the stacks here. And we build them either with hitting with Weapon Throw or with hitting by Furious Charge. And yeah, as you can see, damage, very nice. Not perma uptime on Wrath of the Berserker, but not far off. It depends. If you hit yourself a channeling pylon, a bunch of elites in a row, then obviously you will do. We're not going to pick anything up because we don't really need any items on our account at this stage. But yeah, enough damage to comfortably batter T16. And bear in mind, you're going to have, after hopefully speaking a not too long amount of time, a much better built Barb than this. It's quite exciting, and it's fun. It's new. It's a little bit like playing a weird version of multi-shot, I think, because you got this like the spear flying out, a bit like multi-shot, but it's obviously not got anywhere near like the range or the screen coverage. Is this better than Whirlwind? I'd say on a nice map it potentially could be, given the AoE that we've got with it. On a crap map, I'd rather have Whirlwind, I think, for the move speed. The Bulkathless Blades just make that a very smooth experience. But, you know, at the end of the day, this is new. We do like new, shiny things to play with. Right, where are we going? Yeah, the move speed for the Furious Charge is not the best for the Barb. Is it down here? Is this one of those massive maps? Yes, it is. Cheat Death coming in clutch as we run out of gold. Wouldn't be one of my videos if we weren't procking the Cheat Death, hey? Now, what would I say is better for keys than this? Definitely Gears of Dreadlands, definitely a Wave of Light Monk. What else? Necromages might be better. Inner Monk's definitely better. But, you know, it's, as we say, it's new, it's fun. And it's kind of cool. Kind of cool to look at the nice, super duper fire explosions that are coming out from our Barb. And key farming's better next season. You know, they've added a couple of I don't know. Is it? I was going to say they've added more tile sets, but I think that's only actually for the GRs, isn't it? So there you go, Rift Guardian melted. Not too shabby, and all that with the no main step Paragon. Sheet damage obviously jumps up during the Rift because we've got the Bane of the Powerful activated, we've got the Bloodshed activated, and so on and so forth. But under million sheet damage, 8.5 main stat. Just get the pieces. This will wreck. And it's very easy to set up because all you really need are the 2 spears. Easy. Gold wrap, you can find one of those on a level 1 Barb pretty easily. In-gem's a bit fiddly, I'll grant you that, but you could run the Messerschmitts whilst you're waiting, because that's not too bad to pick up. And then, yeah, I guess the braces as well you're going to need. But other than that, lots of options for jewellery, which is nice. Easy to get weapons we like. And it's also going to be very easy to improve these weapons over the season because you're just going to keep upgrading spears until you get a good one. Righty-ho, I think that is it. I will see you on the season. I'm going to try and squeeze out another video tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, good luck. I hope Orange Jesus is kind to you. Season 26, let's go. Up in the Filthy Casual. Take it easy. Peace.